Like I've clicked like now. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Shakti Vriddhi. Today we have with us Sri Guru Rohit Arya. Uh, I will just briefly touch upon how this idea of this podcast came up. I had a chat with Sri Guru once upon a time where I heard him speak to one of the senior sadhaks, and the quality of the discussion was very elevated. And I felt as the youth, we should also benefit from such um, discussion. So Sri Guru needs no further introduction, but I'll still give a brief introduction for those who are going to be seeing this for the first time. So, Sri Guru Rohit Arya is a yogi, author, and a polymath, being a spiritual mentor, a writer, a mythologist, and a vibrant speaker. He has written the first book on Vaastu to be translated and published in the West. It has been translated into five European languages and even Hebrew. He has the first book on tarot to be published in India, co-authored a book on mini yagna called Sacred Flames, and is the creator of the Sacred India Tarot, 82 card deck and book, based on the Hindu epics and Puranas. He is also the editor of the Leadership Review and multiple experience, very valuable experience. So, without further ado, we'll get into the space. The idea of the space is to give Sri Guru Rohitari and all the people who deserve, who are guiding us, who we deserve to listen to, without any interruption. Thank you, Sri Guru, for joining us today.
All glory is to Ganesha. Om Shiva Chidambaram. Namaste, everybody. I'm very pleased to be the first guest on your inaugural podcast episode. So, I wish it all success. I wish it much great success. And I wish it becomes a force for dharmic matters. So, when you suggested this to me, I was like, yeah, anything to help dharma, I am on. Anything to help Hindus in the current situation, I'm on. So let's do it. I would just like to let everybody know that on the 12th also I'll be talking with Ramesh Venkatraman on his podcast about three books actually, three new books on Swami Vivekananda. Because Jan 12th is Swami Vivekananda's his birth anniversary. And then most probably in February, I'll be starting up my own videos. People have been pestering me for 3-4 years. Please restart your videos. Please restart your videos. I was always saying 300 videos, 320 videos are enough. And first understand them. But then I realized that there is a point to what they are saying also. So I have decided to restart them. So that's it. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. Yeah.
So, Sri Guru, this is the first topic of discussion are these three wonderful kshetrams that you really adore.
Hmm.
So, I would request you to elaborate a little bit about Nataraja, Chidambaram, and Arunachala kshetrams.
Okay. See, I'm a Malayali. It's very odd for a Malayali to be a Nataraja Bhakta because that is regarded more as a Tamil thing. But my father's village of Etamanur, the Shivlingam was brought from Chidambaram. And there is this magnificent, absolutely magnificent mural of Nataraja there. So subconsciously as a child, I was attracted to that and it imprinted on me very obviously. And then there is a whole story of how I got to go to Chidambaram for the first time. I would keep making efforts and it would not happen. I had to do the full Panchabhuta Shivlingam Kshetras, and finally I could walk into Chidambaram, and I had big bleeding wound on my foot. So he really made me. You want to come and have my darshan? All right, I'll make you earn it. I'm not going to say that was wrong or bad on his part because I had a lot of nonsense in me that need to be knocked out. So Chidambaram is my personal Ishtadevta. Like I keep saying that everybody should not only have an Ishtadevta, a particular form of God, there should be a particular temple of that form of God. And you should support that temple fully to your however much you can, because then there is something that really flows and happens. That is a dharmic. It's not like Chidambaram Nataraja is the same everywhere. In Tamil Nadu, there are five what are called sabhas of Nataraja, and he's totally different in all five. Like the nature and the energy, the swabhava, everything is different. The iconography, everything is different. So does that mean it's not Nataraja? No, of course it is Nataraja. But it is another Swarupa, another. And then Arunachala, everybody knows Arunachala, Ramana Maharishi, like again, Arunachala is very famous in the 20th century and onwards because of Ramana Maharishi, but in the south it was always well known. It is one of the very ancient sacred spaces. India, if we look at it, Bharatavarsha, if we look at it, is a grid, a sort of rough diamond grid enclosed by four sacred hills. In the north is Kailasa, in the east is Nilagiri, where Kamakhya sits, in the south is Arunachala, and in the west is Girnar. So if you connect these four, whatever is enclosed within that is sacred dimension. It is a kshetra. Yeah. So Arunachala is the oldest, by the way. The other mountains are less young. Nilagiri is second, then Kailasa, and then Girnar. I think Girnar would be the youngest in terms of how. But all four are extraordinary places. There is. I've been to three only. I've been to two. I went once, I think, when I was a very small child to Kamakhya. I don't remember, so I don't count. I don't count that. So for me, the third place is the Samadhi of Sri Aurobindo, in Pondicherry. So my golden triangle is Samadhi of Sri Aurobindo in Pondicherry at the Pondicherry Ashram, Chidambaram, and Tiruvannamalai. So this is where I draw all my nourishment and my sustenance from, because I am trying to make the integral yoga as elaborated by Sri Aurobindo a valid parampara instead of just a theoretical concept. I'm trying to live out in whatever limited manner I can, because I wouldn't dream of comparing myself to a rishi like that. That man was genuinely another. He was some kind of Mahasiddha, Maharishi. Heaven only knows what he was. So, but I find that the path and the way forward that he has given, because he gave a way forward for spiritual evolution, which, as is always the case, he found that he had certain experiences which could not be explained even by Vedanta and the texts and the Upanishads. He had to go to the Vedas for them. So he did a big loop and went back, and he wrote this book called The Secret of the Veda, which I recommend every Hindu to read, where he explains why the Vedas are regarded as so sacred. And it is not the standard arguments, it is a very, very different quality, absolutely wild sort of interpretation, where he explains the import and why the culture has instinctively understood the Veda is the most important. Now, in school we were all taught the Vedas are the sacred books of Hinduism. And then nobody has the Vedas at home. I mean, I have, but, like generally nobody has the Vedas at home. Nobody has any knowledge of them. Nobody has any engagement with them. But Sri Aurobindo explained why they have always been regarded as the supreme books and the supreme authority. So I urge everybody that please educate yourself on Sri Aurobindo. A lot of your questions will melt away. The questions that you have because you are English educated and therefore brain damaged. I'm sorry to say, even I suffer from that. Even I am deracinated totally and completely. I had to re educate myself in being a Hindu. Look at the irony of what we are doing. We are speaking in English. I speak four languages. I can watch movies in four other languages without subtitles. But any kind of powerful and subtle thought, it has to be in this language. So that is the extent to which Macaulay has won. You know, like we don't realize how comprehensive Macaulay's victory has been. But okay, we are fighting back. We are fighting back using the tool of the enemy. Aurobindo was one of the first. Before him, there was Vivekananda. So there is a. So please read Sri Aurobindo, Secret of the Veda, and essays on the Gita. I would say these two are mandatory books for every Hindu to read. Then his more complex books like Life Divine and things on yoga and things like that, you can go to them slowly. But read these two books and you understand what kind of comprehensive grasp he had of the essence of Hindu Dharma. What does Hindu Dharma mean? And also how to evolve forward. Now there is a grand impetus in the culture for reviving traditional sadhana and upasana practices. I am totally in favor of that. I am completely in favor of that because we lost everything. But also, there is a way forward that we must not lose. We should not just be preserving, we should be evolving. There must be a way forward in what we can do. So, of course, it is very important to preserve, it is very important to strengthen tradition. As I say, this word modernity, like this reform word, I hate it, I hate it with a vengeance. It is not reform, it is deform. So that, but we must evolve. We must be an expansive religion. We must not be a locked in religion. We must have certain. So Sri Aurobindo has laid out a pretty comprehensive path for that. So while we are protecting tradition, reviving traditional practices, we must also have a larger and more expansive vision, which comes easy to us. Hindus always have a universal mindset. It comes easy to us. So that was, this. So that has become my. And then of course I do Girivalam, which is one of my favorite sadhana things to do. Go around sacred Arunachala because of the way it stabilizes the mind and gets rid of karma. Again, I recommend that to everybody. All you have to do is walk slowly. And whether you believe it or not, it believes in you, and there will be a lot of spiritual benefit. If nothing else, everybody wants to be healthy today. Go and walk 14 kilometers. What is the problem? Yeah, at least you will get that much health benefit, burn up some calories. But yeah, I have found so many times that just doing the Girivalam sorts out so many problems in my life. In fact, my life changed comprehensively for the better when once I went over there. This was 12 years back. And in 4 days, I did 3 days. I did 7 Girivalams in a row. So 4 days uh, I did one in the morning, one in the evening, one in the morning, one in the morning, one in the evening. Third day, I could only do the morning because we had to come back to Chennai airport.
Right.
So I did 7 in a row. I did 7 in a row, and since then, my life has quantum leap. My life took a quantum leap. And I have told many people to do it, and nobody does anything remotely. I said, just do 3 in a row and see what happens. They won't even do that. And there is a Swami uh, who was associated with Ramana. He had done 1,25,000 Girivalams in his life. His samadhi is next to the Ramana ashram. So, like when you see that, you're like, okay, what did we do? We did nothing. 1,25,000, not a joke.
An
Yeah.
Anushthan of Girivalam, Sri Guru.
Yes, yes, totally, totally. So, after that, so, and then the kind of miracles that I have personally experienced, the things that people have told me, people in America dreaming of this mountain, going on Google images and finding out what is this mountain, and then coming all the way to Tamil Nadu because it is calling them. Just like Ramana was called. Ramana was called by Arunachala. He didn't know it was a real place, but he felt this calling him. So it is a place where consciousness dawned on this loka. And many, many cosmic events detailed in our mythology or our Itihasa Puranas have taken place there. So it is one of the, if not the most sacred spaces on the planet, one of the most sacred spaces on the planet. Nobody should miss the chance to go. I am very fortunate that because of me, at least 200, 300 people have gone and done Girivalam. Because of me, at least 200, 300 people have gone and had Nataraja Darshan. had Palani Darshan, Palani Murga, Palani Skanda. So I'm fortunate that because of me, these places are getting known. And what is it? I mean, they want it to be known through me, so it is happening through me. It's not my credit at all. But I'm very fortunate that at least I could be a medium for that to happen. Yeah.
Shri Guru, just a question. This is something
Yeah.
that you have spoken about a lot in your Arunachalam podcast
Yeah.
posts.
Yeah.
What do you mean by consciousness dawned there in this work?
Literally, I mean that when it was just plant and vegetative matter, like even plants have consciousness, so we must not, like what is life? Life is a very unique phenomena, and the major phenomena of life is consciousness. You know, what is the difference between organic and inorganic? The difference is consciousness. The organic consciously moves, we call it instinctively, but there is still a mind there. There is still a consciousness. There is still something that differentiates it from jada. So there is a movement of चित्ता है कि क्या है, I don't know, but all I can say is there is something unique in living things. What distinguishes living things? In fact, many schools of Vedanta, many Shaiva Siddhantas, they all say that there is nothing but consciousness. Consciousness is what pervades everything. And so there is a time when it dawns on a planet, and the spot where it began is Arunachala. The spot where it began is Arunachala. And then it ripples out because Arunachala's age is nearly 2 billion years old, geologically. Kailasa is only 70 million. So Kailasa is still a toddler compared to Arunachala. That is what Ramana Maharishi used to say, that Kailasa is Shiva Nivasam. That is where he lives, but Arunachala is Shiva himself. Because Shiva also means auspicious consciousness. We say it means auspicious, but that is not the full meaning. The meaning is auspicious consciousness. So, can we have a Ishtadeva temples locally? Yes, it can be. We'll come to all those.
We
We'll,
have a
we'll come to.
dedicated Q&A section.
Yes, yes, all right. We'll come to all those if we have time. I don't know we're going to have. But if we have time, we'll do it. Yeah, there are good questions. I'm happy to see the questions coming. All right. Yeah, so
Shri
that's
Guru,
enough. I
so
think. Yeah.
you have brought in a whole new tarot card system based on our Puranas, and you're also a Vaastu expert.
It's
Could
not a
you
new tarot
elaborate?
card system. No, no. I need to clarify that. It's not a new, it's a classical tarot.
Oh,
It's a completely classical tarot. Everything in that is completely faithful to the principles and traditions of tarot without changing anything in our stories. Because what I said was that if, as Carl Gustav Jung, who's one of my big heroes, if, as he said, that these are the tarot is classical archetypes and our stories are also archetypes. So I said, if they are archetypes, then there should be an overlap. So then I went looking, okay, here is how this sequence progresses. There is an earth sequence, there's a water sequence, there's a fire sequence, there is a mind sequence, earth, water, fire, air sequence, and then a spiritual, Akasha. Earth, water, fire, air, Akasha. There is that sequence in the tarot. I said, अरे ये तो हिंदू स्ट्रक्चर है, ये तो टोटली हिंदू स्ट्रक्चर है, तो मतलब अपना कहानी तो इसमें आएगा ही. Our stories will fit into this only. So I went looking for the stories. Of course, when I said I'm doing this project, everybody told me you're mad. I said I've been hearing that from my childhood, from my own parents to begin with. So, it's nothing new for me. Let's see where this madness takes me. And then I found out. And then, I discovered that the way the tarot is used today is pathetic. The tarot is actually a kind of European yoga. It is actually a tool for self reflection and self awareness. This predictive thing that it is used for, like, what will my next year be like? Is my husband cheating on me? Should I take this new job? All those are all pathetic questions. Yes, you can answer them. But the way tarot is done, uh, Usually, all over the world, 90% of whatever is spoken about the tarot is horseshit. Yeah, people don't understand. And in India, in Asia, I am a god where tarot is concerned because, my God, the kind of nonsense that surrounds this topic, which is why I stopped speaking about it. Because I respect it and I know that this, whatever people are burbling, are not, that is not the tarot, that is just some nonsense idea they picked up from somewhere. And, I find it very insulting to hear the tarot being discussed in that matter. But the tarot is a very serious, it was part of the Western mystical path. We forget that Western Europeans also had mystical paths. It was part of the Western mystical path and it was a very serious methodology. Now, we also have misused Jyotish big time. So it's not like we have also done the best with our systems. So similarly, the tarot also got misused and then it became associated. And then there is the hugest problem with the tarot is that nobody comes to you because your life is going well. People only come when they have problems. So your every experience with the tarot is an endarkened experience. It is an experience of pain, sorrow, suffering, remorse, regret. And so over time, your mind becomes clouded because that's the only time you're engaging with it. So I stopped it. I stopped public readings and all that. But my book is there. It is by far one of the best books ever written on the subject. I'm saying that with no modesty, because why should I be modest about the truth? So people can read my book and they can get the deck. The deck is done by an English lady called James Adams. She drew the artwork, beautiful artwork. She is very spiritually oriented towards dharmic things. So this was the other great irony. The Hindu guy is writing the book and the English lady is illustrating the book. Usually it should have been the other way around. our our artists, we gave it to a few artists, but they couldn't draw the human form very well and not in the way that we wanted it to come out. Because if you look at those cards, they're very beautiful and they're very spiritually oriented. And I insisted that this is a spiritual thing. It is not to be demeaned in any way. Yeah. So, and yeah, if you ask me, would you do it again? I'd be like, not one chance in hell, baby. Like, no. It took me 12 years of my life. And I have not got any rewards from it either. It was just something that the universe decided has to be done through me. So once in a while, I just look at it. I'm very proud of it. But then I realized one thing that my guru told me. She said, you will be the source of this, so you have to be very clear what you're doing. But once it is in the world, it becomes the what the people using it. It becomes the thing of the people using it. So I said, now it is in the hands of the users. If they want it to prosper, it will prosper. If they don't want it to prosper, like. So I have, people are very surprised that I have walked away from it. Like, how could you do that? The Vaastu book, that was actually, I got a commission to write a book on Vaastu from a foreign publisher. It was pretty good money. So I took it up. I wasn't really, I was interested and I realized why not? This is a valid traditional Vidya. Why not? So then I realized the other thing that most of what is talked about in Vastu is also horseshit. You, like the classical Vastu, there is a core text, there is a fundamental core text called the Mayamatam. And uh, whenever I meet a Vastu person, I want to know their knowledge of the Mayamatam, and Tenga is the usual. Yeah. So then, of course, these temple agamas are a whole different ball game. Yeah, temple agamas are completely different. Vastu is mostly about the personal house, personal this thing and all that. And and I am nothing, even though I'm pretty good at it. I know people, older generation, you could just bring them soil from the land you had, and they would tell you what kind of business would work, what are the doshas, what is the thing, and they'd even tell you date of death just from a handful of soil. There were people who were at that level in our country at one time. Today, of course, forget it. Today, of course, forget it. Nothing is like that level of brilliance I have seen the old traditional Vastu masters have. So I'm nothing compared to them. I just have some time pass knowledge, like basics I can tell you. But my basics are better than 90% of the people out there. So, because I have gone to the core, I have gone right to the core authority. I don't claim to be an expert on temple agama because I don't have the text and I can't read the text. Even if I do have the text, I can't read. I mean, I understand how it is done. I understand how a temple is done, the Vastu principles behind it. But if you tell me become an expert and set it up, I can't do that. For a house, I can do it. Again, I stopped because, being a tarot reader, a tarot consultant, and a Vastu consultant, these are the two most thankless faltu jobs in the world. Yeah, and people look at you as some kind of crazy, beads, crystal, and incense kind of person. And, like I'm like, this is this is hurting my spiritual credentials. This is hurting my spiritual credentials, even though I'm saying both are fabulous vidyas, done correctly. Just like Jyotish, I see so many idiots do Jyotish and then I see brilliant people. Yeah, so it has to be done correctly because there is an aspect of sadhana in both these things. There is a final touch that cannot come from the book and cannot come from repeating, and so it has to be done correctly. I did correctly when I did, but then the the problem of using that vidya to engage with people became too much for me. It's not my personality. I'm deeply introverted and easily irritated. So that is like a hand grenade with the pin pulled. An explosion is inevitable. so so I'm like, I don't want to do it, and I get really pissed with people who don't listen to advice you give and things like that. So I'm like, why do I need this in my life? So I just left it. So I
So
just left
Shri,
it. Yeah, but the Vastu book, that kind of gave me confidence that I can speak in the public domain. I can put something out in the public domain, and there is value. I have something value to contribute. Then the tarot book, I've written a previous book on the tarot also, which is also phenomenally good. That didn't go anywhere because that was premature. It was before the tarot wave hit India. That was premature. Then by the time we made our book, the tarot already had its day in the sun. So now only the serious people buy. I think we sell one deck a day. So every year we clear about 350, 400 decks, which is not great, but it's not bad either because it's such a
mm,
niche.
mm.
So take care. How can a sadhak experience the energy in a temple? Is it only experienced by the advanced souls? In a sense, yes. To know Shakti, you must have Shakti to begin with. To know Shakti, you must have Shakti. You
So
cannot walk in there with a textbook and deduce,
mm.
oh, this is a high energy temple, this is a low energy temple. In fact, one of the great contradictions I see is that the most famous sort of royal temples, the temples which are praised for their art and architecture, usually are very mediocre in Shakti. And the temples with the greatest Shakti usually don't tend to be very great in their art and architecture. So there is a problem there. There is a genuine problem there. Yeah. Okay.
So Shri Guru, if I understand correctly, then for someone like me who's a
Hmm.
beginner in tarot and Vastu, not even beginner, yet to start,
Hmm.
are the books a good place to start for our viewers who would be interested in making some?
Absolutely. Both my books would be a very good foundational text. Then, if you want to get better, I mean, my tarot book is pretty comprehensive, by the way. You might not need any other book because I poured in everything I knew. Of course, if I write it today, it would have been much better. But hindsight is 2020. Like, so. There's no point lamenting about that. Both of them are very good books to begin with. And the average person, how much do you want to know? Unless you want to become like a real expert and do only that, and like, unfortunately, I'll tell you, people look at these things as money generating ventures.
mm,
And if you want to be really good at such vidyas, um, they cannot be money generating ventures. So that is also something I learned, that people who try to, the tarot especially is like a dragon. I think the spirit animal of the tarot is a dragon, and it's just like dragon riding a dragon. If you try to be arrogant with it, it'll turn around and, well, you can guess. you know you can guess what happens. So I have been very clear with people. I used to teach people also, but then I saw the results were not doing well. I used to teach people tarot, intense 2 days introduction, take supplementary classes, and nahi hota hai re. You need. I realize these things should be taught only to people who are already experienced in sadhana. Then it sinks in. Then they begin to understand the real thing. The real spiritual transformation of it. What does it mean to get guidance and advice from another dimension? Because the tarot is like a gateway into another dimension. In fact, each card in my book, it is called a dwara. It is called a gateway. Like you are accessing another level of energy here. So most people don't have the patience. I did not read for a single other human being for 4 years. I was just learning, 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 learning. Today, people learn for 4 days, then they say, I am Sri Guru's disciple, and they start. And I'm like, hello, you did one reading with me, or disciple ban gaya? anyways anyways, so yeah. So that's why I keep quiet about these things. Not that I'm in any ways ashamed of them. I'm very proud of both of those books. I'm very proud of both those efforts, my tarot efforts, and but then I realized the scope for misunderstanding is too great, and how many fires can I put out? So then I just said, what, even other things that I say, are people take things I say in my videos and twist it out of context. People take obvious plain sentences I write and twist it out of context. And so that is the reason. Not that I don't, I really wish I could teach the tarot seriously as a sadhana path to people, because that is how it was done in the West. It was a sadhana path. I really wish I could do that, but the chances of it succeeding are very low. So why waste life like that? So, anyways, that's. I'll die with that regret, maybe, or maybe before I die, I'll call whoever is available and say, "Yele transmission. Unworthy people get it." Yeah, but please pick up. Even my first book on the tarot is very good. It's called the Money Tarot book. You can pick that up also. That also is a very. But the second book is a superlative effort. It is something I just poured my whole knowledge and Shakti into. I wrote it under very difficult circumstances. So I wish I had written it in pleasanter circumstances, but it is a superlative book. So anybody can. And whatever you need to know about the tarot is there. It is, I'm not boasting. I'm not boasting. I'm making a statement of fact. Whatever you need. And then, of course, there is engagement. You need to engage with it and learn. You need to surrender to the thing which is so much more powerful than you and allow it to guide you. And most people want to impose their notions on the tarot. And I'm like, you'll get your ass kicked. You cannot dictate to the tarot. You have to accept what is being shown. And many times, what is being shown is unpleasant. Because the tarot is like a methodology to surface your internal reality. And everybody thinks the internal reality, they are sitting and doing mala japa somewhere in Kailasa. No, your internal reality is that you're messed up. I once made a statement that at least in yoga, it is understood that who you are is a tragedy that needs urgent rectification. You know, don't be yourself. Yeah, being yourself is a terrible idea. Okay, I think that's enough on tarot Vastu. Please move ahead.
So, Shri Guru, now would you like to take a few questions, or can we move to the next segment and take the questions in the end?
It's your show, भैया. I'm a guest. आपका शो है. आप होस्ट है. करो करो जोर से करो.
So
Questions
we
लेते हैं.
have,
Questions लेते हैं. हाँ.
yes. So he's asking if we
I
can
can
have a
see that.
Rishtadev. Okay.
Yes, of course you can have it locally. I never said it has to be a well-established one. Well-established one में advantage क्या होता है? It is old. The puja vidhis go on for thousands of years. Last year I was doing a Rudra Homam, and somebody asked me, how old is this? And I did, that's a damn fine question. And then I thought about it and I said, it must be at least 6,000 years old. And that person was like, what? And I said, yeah, that's the power of India, no? This unbroken cultural continuity, that you do the same puja in the exact same way. Like we are part of something that old. I said, exactly, you got it. We are part of that chain of transmission. So I felt very proud, that one of my disciples had that kind of buddhi to ask that question and then understand what it meant. So yes, kaun hai Shakil oatmeal, okay. Yes, of course you can have your Ishtadeva temple locally. Absolutely no problem with that. But then support that temple, make that temple flourish, make sure the pujas are happening correctly, make sure the pujaris are taken care of, make sure that when people come, they respect the rules and traditions of the temple. In a well established ancient temple, all those things become easy. That is all. And also see, you really don't choose your Ishta Devta, the Devta chooses you. It is a matter of lifetimes. So you may start with one form and then some other form grabs you and that's it, you're done for. Don't apologize, भैया. Question पूछने के लिए क्यों apologize करता है? We have a temple of Shiv near my home and I find it beautiful. I'm so happy that you have a temple near your home and it is a beautiful temple. Those are not the case normally in urban centers today. So please go there and please develop a relationship with the Shiva over there. Please deepen your connection to that temple. Please deepen your connection to the Devta within that temple. Allow the Devta to speak to you. Yes. It's a very good question, actually. Yeah. Oh, yo. I don't wish to say anything about the sect in question. I have many things I could say, but I don't wish to say them. Marble is karmically dense. So Jain temples are built in marble because the whole point of Jain religion is to stop all karmic activity. Our temples are supposed to energize people, so that is why we build in stone. We have very specific stones that can be used for temple building. So in that sense, building a temple in marble is a very bad idea. Yeah. बाकी समझदार को इशारा काफी है. Word to the wise is sufficient. Are these Hindu temples or something else altogether? सवाल में ही जवाब है and still मेरे को पूछ रहे हैं. See, two things, there's marble for murtis is like a catastrophic idea and it is spreading rapidly. And the other thing is wearing denim. Denim is the marble of clothes, Wearing denim and doing sadhana, all your effort is wasted. It is just like this completely dense, useless thing. So please don't. Wear natural fibers, wear silk, linen, cotton. Yeah, wool, of course, but in the heat of India, wool is a problem.
So, Shri Guru, I think this is
Okay,
a great time to segue into our next segment. Thanks
please
to our
do.
audience.
Yes.
Free temples and what can we do?
Free temples and what can we do? Already a lot is being done. The most important thing is to become absolutely unreasonably stubborn about it. First of all, most people were not aware that the temples were under the control of the Sarkar, and more importantly, how badly they are being looted and how the funds are being misused. How people, as soon as they become the secretary of the temple, the first thing they do is go and buy themselves an Innova, and then how the funds are used for other religions, and all those things are coming. There are so many videos. Jaipur Dialogues has done, Sangam Talks has done a lot, TR Ramesh, his videos, there are many, P Gurus, there are many videos. So those who don't understand these things can go to these three channels and educate themselves. TR Ramesh videos especially, because he's like this doughty fighter. He's like this real guy who just goes and fights and fights and fights. But Hindu society must make this a non-negotiable. Just like in the 90s we said गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू हैं, एंड देन वी सेड हम मंदिर वही बनाएंगे, और अब हम मंदिर वही बना रहे हैं. Yeah, we don't give a rat's ass if you call us communal, if you call us bigoted. हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, हम मंदिर वही बनाएंगे. Hindu society must become that stubborn once again. Hindu society must say, we don't care. We don't want to listen to your arguments. We give no credibility or credence to your arguments. Our temples must be run by the community as they were always run for thousands of years. This must happen. And if any government stand in the way, if people stand in the way, there must be consequences for that. So just become stubborn. Don't engage with people who argue against it. Don't give them any respect. Stop being nice. Essentially, stop being nice. Don't have this disease of wanting to be liked by everybody and approved of by everybody, especially people who despise you and hate you. Stop being nice about this. Just be stubborn. Enough work is being done at the legal. Find who are the people doing it, support them. But generally, just keep hammering away at this until society at large sees that there is this immense pressure that Hindus want to control their temples. It is very insulting to say that this will happen, mismanagement will happen. Every other community can run their own sacred places. We can't. What kind of bloody nonsense is this? Yeah. Over there is no mismanagement, there is no corruption. So we have got into this habit of trying to be nice and accommodating, and I have had enough of it. I'm tired of it. I'm nearly 60, and I'm like, I can't live like this. I can't die like this, like I can't have people. So just be absolutely intransigent about this and support all the people fighting. Everybody knows Jai Sai Deepak, not enough people know TR Ramesh. Support TR Ramesh. Send them money. Find out who are the people going to court, whatever. Put pressure on your MLA, your MP, if you know who they are. They don't care about you, but even then, write a letter. If they see enough people are getting agitated about this, then it'll become an issue. Speak up vocally on social media. Speak up vocally in your social circles. Again, you all are scared of doing that. You all are scared you won't be invited to the cool parties. The right sort of people won't like you. Screw them. To hell with them. We want our temples back, and we will decide what to do with our temples. We will run our temples. Just don't discuss this. This is not up for debate. जिद पे आ जाओ. जिद पे आ जाओ. जब हिंदू जिद पे आता है ना, सबकी फटती है. क्योंकि we are such a mild people, accommodating people. Yeah. It's like the elephant. The elephant is very nice and sweet and stands there and flaps its ears and oh, how beautiful, how wonderful. And then everybody is out of the way. So zid pe aa jao. Just make sure that you don't compromise or back down. If you become firm about an issue, 10 people may oppose you, but at least 5 people will say, no, no, he's supporting it, and and they'll back you. And then that's how you build up a momentum. Just like when you built up a momentum for Ram Mandir. A few people had to come, zid pe aane ka tha. They just got the zid and they said, hum mandir wahi banayenge. We are not interested in compromise. We are not interested in discussion. We are not interested in hospital and university. We want a temple on that spot. क्या करने वाले हैं? 22nd को देखेंगे ना. जय श्री राम, हो गया काम.
Jai Shri Ram.
And become like that for all temples. Our temples will be free, or else. Okay? I think that's enough. See, because whatever can be done legally is being done. There is lack of social support, there is lack of financial support. Ramchandra made a very good comment. Hindu temples are mismanaged by secular governments. All blame is incurred by Hindus. Absolutely 100% correct, Ram. Ekdam sahi. And that is deliberate. That is absolutely deliberate. Very good observation. हमें उन सब चीजों के लिए we are being blamed for which we are not responsible. All the time we are told गुरुद्वारा में लंगर देते हैं. अरे मंदिरों में भी होता है यार अन्नदान. What nonsense is this? So, that is the whole. Anyways, that is characterological evil. We need to come to that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, characterological evil. Right. Yeah, so
Shri
this
Guru, with your
point of.
permission, I'll just say
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
You make this so easy for me. There's no need of any transition. You just brilliantly just. Thank you so much.
Yeah, characterological evil is a concept in sociology which I heard the American sociologist Shelby Steele articulate for the first time, where he says that something is bad because it exists. And what has happened with these Marxists and Islamists and all those people is that they have characterized Hinduism as something being bad because it exists. That is why people in important positions of power can say that we have malaria and dengue and should be eradicated. Yeah, so this concept needs to go into the minds of every awake Hindu, that this is how they regard us, this is how our enemies regard us. They think that wiping us out is a good for the world. They have demonized you to such an extent. Yeah, so you need to fight back with ferocity. You need to understand where they are coming from. They are coming from a place where your very existence is badness, where your very existence is evil. And that is what their books are about. That is what their propaganda is about. That is what everything is flowing from this basic fundamental understanding. And since we don't look at anybody like that, we are perplexed and we are shocked, and also we are stupid. We refuse to believe that people can be like that. Arey, aisa kaise ho sakta hai? I've heard this so many times, and I'm like, you idiots, wake up and smell the coffee. Yeah, so you don't need any proof of this. You just need to open social media and you can see how the attacks come at us. Anything we say, even if it is truth, oh, that is Brahman propaganda, that is Sanghi propaganda. So we need to fight back in much harsher terms. And let me tell you another problem. You see, many so-called Hindu names, they are not Hindus, they are crypto converts. Just because somebody has a Hindu name doesn't mean they are Hindu. Huh? That is another problem that we are facing. They've converted and they are hiding it. So I have found it very, very useful to just counter attack to a crypto convert bol raha hai, because how can he prove he is not a crypto convert? It's like a it took me a long time to understand this, but once I understood the characterological evil concept, I realized, okay, so this is what is going on. So who are the five enemies, the panchamlechas as I call them? There is the media, there is the missionaries, there is the Macaulaytes, there is the mullahs, there is the Marxists. Yeah, these are the panchamlechas. These are the five great enemies of Hinduism. And they all think of Hindus and Hinduism as a characterological evil. Please nail this into your head. Please be absolutely clear about this. You are fighting for your existence. You are in the battle of your life. I recently came on Chitti Media and I made a statement, and they made the whole the whole video was titled "Hindus are in their worst conditions in Aurangzeb." It's a factual statement. It is not something that I'm exaggerating. The kind of attack we are facing, we never faced even under the Mughal times. The kind of attack at us at every level, psychological, social, educational, cultural. And it all comes from this core fundamental problem that they regard just our existence as an evil that needs to be wiped out. So if you do not understand this, hoo, 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 lots of trouble for you. Anyways, trouble is coming. Anyways, a lot of trouble is coming. But if you don't even know what you're fighting against, so Pancham Lechas, always be careful. Always be careful of the Pancham Lechas. Otherwise you are in big trouble. That's the other thing I want to say. The word mlecha must be brought back into common usage.
Mm.
Too much politeness. We have been too much politeness. ये politeness बंद करो, niceness बंद करो. अच्छा ही गया तेल बेचने. शत्रुबोध, शत्रुबोध, स्वयंबोध. Who are you? Who is the enemy? And please understand, they are the enemy. They are not people who are opposed to you. They are your enemy. And until you understand that, you're not going to achieve anything. Swayambodh is actually in even worse condition than Shatrubodh. I am a mean person, so I like asking people this question and disconcerting them. So I just ask parents, or like, why should you be a Hindu and not any other religion? And they have nothing to say, which means they have no sense of who they are, what their values are, what their psyche is. And I'm like, is this a way to live? First of all, you don't recognize the existence of an enemy who's literally cutting your throats in public. And secondly, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you stand for. You don't know why your religion is better. It is better to be in your religion than in any other religion. And look, this Ars business, no, ARSE, all religions are same and equal. Please, no R's, yeah? All religions are not same and equal. Some religions are better. There is a hierarchy. Yeah, we are at the highest echelon. That is another matter. But all religions are not same and equal. No ours. Yeah. And Sarva Dharma Vada please don't Sarva Dharma Samabhava. That is a fake statement. It is a made up statement. It is not found in any Sanskrit text. It is a fake statement made up in the early 20th century. There is not one single scriptural or textual reference anywhere to that. So that's why I call it Sarva Dharma Vada Pav. Like all are the hot vada pavs here. Sarva Dharma Vada Pav. So get all these nonsense ideas out. Get all these nonsense ideas out of your head. Understand you're in a fight for your very existence. I'm old. I have lived in a free India. I have lived as a practicing Hindu. Whether your children and grandchildren can do that is a big question mark.
That's a very strong statement, Sri Guru.
Oh, yes, I mean it to be. I absolutely mean it to be. In 1930, do you think the people in Lahore and Dhaka, 1930 kya, 1940, do you think the people in Lahore and Dhaka, the Hindus of Lahore and Dhaka thought what is coming onto them? What makes you think that you are any safer than they are? On what is the basis of this hilarious optimism? तुम तो लड़ोगे नहीं. You have this fetish about ahimsa and being liked by other people. Perfect victim. Yeah, okay, weaponizing Hindu respect for teachers. That is just part of that characterological evil. But the Marxists have twisted the instinctive respect that Hindus have for teachers, and they use the teachers to corrupt the young people. You go to any liberal arts college, and the students are gone in one semester. One semester, and they are destroyed because it is coming from authority figures. So in schools, it's not so bad. But then recently, there was that episode in Karnataka where the headmistress did a photo shoot with a student of hers where he's kissing her and hugging her and pulling at her sari and things like that, And I was like, okay, now it has come to the schools also. So here I am proposing something radical. I am saying that we need to stop our respect for teachers. The teachers of our childhood are no longer the teachers of today. They do not deserve respect. They deserve your contempt. They deserve your disdain. This is unfortunate for the really few good teachers left, but they are not good teachers anymore. Especially not in the liberal arts. In STEM, it might be different, but in the liberal arts, they are just corrupters. They are morally degenerate people. Again, I'm using the word with full responsibility. A liberal arts professor is a morally degenerate person by training and instinct. I don't care whose feelings that hurts. They are dangerous people who should not be left near your children, and they are all bought into the Hinduism as a characterological evil mindset. And they get no pushback because you should have gurutvam, you should be respectful. They get no pushback. So I'm saying smash this edifice of respect for teachers. Destroy the whole, destroy this whole, because it has been weaponized against us, and until the whole thing is destroyed, we cannot rebuild it. So until they prove that they are friends of Hindus, they are to be regarded by default as enemies. I know it's a very radical thing. Most people cannot because when we were young, our teachers were devta tulya. Yeah, they were like who is your teacher? Who is your? And so to come to a place where you have contempt for them. Recently, okay, this is not going to go down well with a lot of people, but I don't care. Recently, I met one of these professors, and they are so not used to being challenged in anything. So when they of course they teach some course ending with studies, so I said, can't you do something honorable like OnlyFans instead of this, and the person was in complete shock because in her life nobody had challenged her and her assumptions. So to be told to do OnlyFans rather than teach this garbage, Marxist garbage, anti-Hindu garbage, was like and I'm a difficult person to crack, no, because I know all the arguments, I know history, I know world culture. So they can't brainwash me, they can't come at me with all the rubbish. It's very easy to tell a 20-year-old child who's grown up watching TV serials or YouTube videos and to brainwash them. It's difficult to do that with somebody like me. So I just neatly packed up that person and like, I mean, it was finished the minute I said the OnlyFans thing. It was finished, but the person made the mistake of trying to continue the argument. And nowadays I don't hold back. So yeah, so I know this is a very, very radical proposal, But I think it is a council of despair, by the way. The matter has become so bad that we have to pull down the whole structure and then rebuild it. Because our billionaires are not spending money on building good dharmic universities. Forget dharmic university, just basic universities which are not propaganda brainwashing machines. We don't have our community funds are locked up in the temples. Other the temples could have made those universities, and we had a fair chance at fighting back. But we have no chance at fighting back because the educational institutions, the government institutions are all captured by Marxists and Islamists, and the private ones are all captured by these wokandus. So what chance do we have? So we have to just take away the respect. They get away with this because we respect them, and we have to develop contempt. We have to develop contempt, derision for them. That we don't respect you, we don't care for you, we don't think that what you say is valuable. We know you are an enemy, and we shall treat you as an enemy is treated. And this is a war. War is not fought with weapons only. This is a psychological and a cultural war. And then I'll come, the third one you've written there is purpose of woke propaganda. There is an author, he's very old now, may God keep him in health, but he's leaving. He's very old now. Theodore Dalrymple, not William Dalrymple, who's just one jihadi apologist. He's a brilliant writer, but he's just a jihadi apologist. Theodore Dalrymple. He was a doctor, he was a physician, practicing physician, and he was also an author. He has written a very famous essay, which I ask everybody to read, called The Knife Went In. It's about how criminals never take responsibility for their actions. So the knife went in, not that I stabbed somebody. Yeah. So the name of the essay is The Knife Went In. So he said that he traveled in the North Korea and the communist bloc when the communist bloc still used to exist in Eastern Europe. And he said that he noticed something interesting about the propaganda, the purpose of propaganda. Woke propaganda is leftist propaganda. We don't even need to call it woke propaganda. He said that the purpose of propaganda is not to persuade but to humiliate. Again, the purpose of propaganda is not to persuade but to humiliate. A humiliated people become demoralized. Demoralized does not mean you have no morals, it means you lose morale. You lose your fighting spirit, you lose your ability to fight back. So, the purpose of woke propaganda, the purpose of leftist propaganda is to humiliate you so that you become demoralized and you cannot resist tyranny. So when they tell you that there are 72 genders, even though you know it's not true, but if you don't accept it, you will lose your job. You'll be kicked out of your course. You'll be boycotted by people. When they tell you that somebody who just one day wakes up and decides to identify as a woman can enter into women's sports and break all the world records immediately, you again, the purpose of propaganda is not to persuade but to humiliate. Or when they tell you that I recently saw this history book which is being used in one of the schools, and Qutbuddin Aibak destroyed Hindu temples to find construction material for his mosques. They are seriously putting this down. So when you have to agree with such utter nonsense, you lose your self-respect because you are agreeing to such rubbish. And when you lose your self-respect, you cannot resist. See, we are in the middle of a process that was interrupted. Shivaji Maharaj and the Marathas, they were doing a reconquista of India. They were reconquering India. Then, because of unfortunate circumstances, mostly a 6-year famine that wiped out the Maratha fighting population, the British won. So around 1810, they got supremacy over India. They got paramountcy over India. The other rulers, they never ruled India. It was always one armed gang of Dakus occupying the territory. They never ruled. Yeah, so to say that India was ruled by these people is not wrong. We were sometimes occupied, we were never conquered. We were never conquered. The British conquered. But those people never conquered us. It was just occupation. You don't say that because Russia was in Afghanistan and America was in Afghanistan that Afghanistan was conquered. We call it occupation. Yeah, same with India. It was just occupation. There was no conquest. This is another one of those purpose of propaganda is to humiliate, not persuade. Yeah, it is the same thing. So, so in what we are told, in what the secular media would tell us, in what the historians would tell us, the idea was to demoralize Hindus at every state. Then, because of social media, the fight. Previously, I remember when I was in young man, to tell people the reality of what was going on in Kashmir, nobody was willing to talk about it. If we had social media, what happened to the Kashmiri Hindus would not have been possible. It is because we did not have social media that it was allowed to be done. If we had social media, the uproar would have been too great. I used to think social media uproar does not create any benefits, but I'm not so sure now. I think it actually does make a difference. I see many people change their behavior because of social media uproar. So, yeah, please understand that the propaganda is not meant to persuade you, it is deliberate nonsense. And by forcing you to accept that nonsense, by forcing you to acknowledge that nonsense in public and pretend as if you believe it, they are demoralizing you. Yeah, so you must understand this also. I know these are all pretty difficult psychological concepts. We are the people who invented yoga and we seem to have an allergy to clear thinking. I don't know why. But you must have clear thinking before you can get anything done. So you must understand these two things. You must understand this characterological evil and you must understand the purpose of propaganda. Once you understand these two things, a hot knife through butter. You all of this nonsense that they throw at you, no impact on you. Like, oh, this person is impossible. I said, that is a wonderful compliment you have given to me. I do intend to be impossible. And I also told one of these people that I don't want you to like me. I would be very alarmed if you like me. I want you to dislike me. I don't want your approval. I don't want your approval. Again, I would be very upset if you approved of me. So they've never heard a Hindu speak like that. It was a new experience for them. That happens in life sometimes. They didn't know it, but it happens. Life gives you new experiences. So yeah. So again, I'm making some headway. People like me are making some headway. Young people are listening. When you and I were at that event in Hyderabad, Costa, my disciple, he said something. He said, Sri Guru, everybody comes up to you and they have the same identical line. You changed my life. And he said, Ek bar, do bar, 10, 20, 30 times. That is very strange. So I said, yeah, that is also, that is a good legacy, That is a good legacy to have, that people say that you changed my life. Okay, आगे बढ़ो. I
Shri,
think
with
I
your
made.
permission, I'll make
Yeah,
a humble observation.
please tell me.
Uh, During this, now we are 1 hour 10 minutes. I didn't even realize first of all that we have
Okay, great, great,
been
great.
live. And couple of times, I think your phone notification of a bell went off only twice. Once was when you said about the Ram Mandir, Jai Shri
हाँ,
Ram, and the second
हम्म,
time was when you said we were never conquered.
हाँ
So
तो
in
होने
Kerala
दो
we
ना.
say Shubham.
हाँ,
Shubham.
शुभम शुभम. होने दो ना. Sometimes I'm like, हम भी तो मंदिर के घंटी है ना, जो भी आता है बजा के जाता है.
मजा के जाता है.
शुभम. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So, Shigur, the next segment is on Devta Upasana. And you had
Yes.
mentioned how it is important, not even in this podcast, you have mentioned that it's not just
Hmm.
important to have one form, which specific form, and
Hmm.
which kshetram of that form.
See, this is a matter that I would prefer that everybody come organically to myself, not listen to me. What form of devta appeals to you? In my sangha, my group of disciples, I have hardcore Vaishnavas, I have hardcore Sri Rama Bhaktas, Sri Krishna Bhaktas, Skanda Bhakta, Akhilandeshwari. So, ekdam diverse hai. There is no necessity that because I am Nataraja Bhakta, all of you have to be Nataraja Bhaktas. No. Yeah, everybody are free to follow their own path. So find your devta, find what resonates with you, do the practical things today because of Rajshri, भैरव उपासना, देवी उपासना, प्रैक्टिकल टर्म्स में मंत्र जपा कैसे किया जाता है, अनुष्ठान कैसे होता है, what does one do, that it is not enough just to do the japa, one must have bhog and then one must do this and then the whole procedure of doing mantra and things like that, which were all lost. All that basic knowledge was lost to deracinated people like us. So what he is doing is phenomenally important. What Ramchandra is doing is phenomenally important. That bringing the basic practices back. They're not complex things that they're teaching. They're teaching absolutely simple things. But the results are going to be explosive. Because when people see what actually happens, I, of course, am a meditation guy. So I would, but most people are not capable of meditation. I've accepted that. So it is better that they do mantra japa and puja and other things like that. So the thing is not what you do, but the thing is how consistently do you do. First of all, do you have a devta? Do you have a devta that you can say, I belong to this devta? That this is my core, this is my everything. And then that I have done Sharnagati to the person. Sharnagati is a lovely term because Sharan mein ana means to come into the protection of, and Gati means the movement. So when you come into the protection of the Devta, you move forward. So it's a lovely term. I don't like the term surrender because it implies you lost, you're a loser. So psychologically, that term has certain resistance to it. So अगर देवता के शरणागति में आ गए हैं genuinely, then what is your problem? Everything is the will of the devta from then on. But most people Sharnagati is on EMI plan, no? Like so. So that won't do. That won't do. So first of all, Devta, then Mandir of the Devta. Because like it or not, we are a Mandir culture. And why should we walk away from that? Every devta is not the same in every mandir. Every devta is, this all gods are the same form. That is another crippling lie that we have been fed. All the gods are true and none of them are the same. Are bhaiya, even the six forms of Muruga are not the same. What are you saying? so so how to choose a rupam, quite frankly, you don't choose, he chooses you. Like I didn't choose Nataraja. I always say sometimes that my love for Nataraja is more like a Stockholm syndrome. Like he has kidnapped me, I am his hostage. And now I have the Stockholm syndrome for Nataraja. So, so do basic sadhana, do basic mantra japa, do basic meditation. I generally, if you can do mantra sadhana, that would be best. Learn next time Rishi or Ramchandra are having thing, go and learn from them. Go and learn. It is a wonderful uh, experience. Nobody should miss that. If they, your life will transform if you take what they say seriously and you're practicing after that. Your life will transform. I would have a small request that Saumya Devta को थोड़ा pause button दबाओ और उग्र देवता का साधना करो. Because the qualities of your devta will start reflecting in you. So if you have powerful devtas, Hanuman, Muruga, Kali, Durga, yeah, if you have powerful devtas, then they will start reflecting. Bhairava, They will start reflecting in you. Varaha Murti, Narsimha Murti, yeah, they'll start reflecting. Sarveshwara, I recently went to the Sarveshwara temple and did a homam, and oh my God. And then I'm like, how old is this thing? It is just in form that is beyond. Anyways, that's another matter. So, and the Kshetram will, both the Rupam and the Kshetram will automatically come to you. If you're, uh, today only I made a comment on Sri Kumar's post where he was talking about how that Karupar Swami temple, how he prayed to Kamakhya and then she helped him. And I also supposedly helped him according to him, whatever. So I was saying, see, you must understand that the Devtas do not call the qualified, they qualify the called. Yeah. So if they decide we want this person to do the work, then you are got done for. Yeah. You forget it. You so if you have that, first of all, there must be that love. There must be that devotion towards the Deva. There must be a devotion to that form. Even on the last podcast, I made the comment that when people say why wasting milk and things like that, that is an atheist argument because you don't believe the Devta is real. If you believe the Devta was real, you would give the best. So somebody wrote to me saying, I used to do kanjusi in the puja items. From today, I'm giving only the best. Yeah. So that's just that one person changing their behavior in the puja. Like, why to your Devta would you give cheap items? Give the best, no? So, that's an atheist argument. And so, if you are sincere and genuine in your commitment, if your longing is that great, if you increase your intensity, your longing is that great, then some devta or the other which you have past life connections to will find you, and you will go to okay, Ramchandra is throwing one atom bomb after the other. Yes, we'll come to that. Pin that question. We'll come to that. Yeah. So I always find it very difficult to answer this question because how can I get in between bhakta and devta? No, how can I tell you something like there are some people who will do astrological calculations and tell you Ganapati is better for you, Muruga is better for you. If you have a genuine problem, then my suggestion is always start with Ganapati because Ganapati is the beginning. Start with Ganapati, and Ganapati, in one sense, is the essence of Shakti. He's crystallized Shakti, he's the core of Shakti. So start with Ganapati, and if he wants you to go elsewhere and find your Devta, he'll do that. If not, he'll make sure you don't go anywhere. So start with Ganapati. Ganapati is universally popular form. No? Everybody likes the Ganapati form. So start with Ganapati. If you don't know which Devta to do the puja, there are so many ways to do Ganpati puja. Sri Kumar has an initiative about that. How to do Ganpati puja from scratch for newcomers. Learn from him. It's too late for me. I can't go anywhere else. I go to all kshetrams. I have wonderful experience. I mainline the Shakti I draw into me. But Chidambaram Nataraja, there's nothing I can do about it. Nor do I wish to do anything about it. But does that mean that if I go to Palani Muruga, I'm not going to have a grand time? Of course not. I think it probably enhances the experience. Even though it is a different devta, it kind of enhances the experience. So just because I go to Chidambaram Nataraja, it doesn't mean I don't go to other temples. People think it means you don't go to any other temple. That's also a very foolish and futile notion. But if you really don't know, start with Ganpati, and then Ganpati will take you somewhere. And you must believe in this. You must believe that the Devta knows better than you and is taking care of you. You must have that complete unwavering trust. If you have a shopkeeper's mentality and you have a bargaining mentality, then he will say, oh, you're not ready. You're still in the playful, you're still in the foolishness mode, and you're not ready. But if you really believe in it, it'll come. And then, if there is a genuine past life connection to some other devta, Ganpati will guide you to him. Others, he will say, "Chalo, mera ek banda aa gaya. I'll take him. I'll take you." And what is wrong with being with Ganpati? Ganpati is complete in itself. All devtas are complete in themselves. But Ganpati is especially powerful in today's. Ganpati, we have made so many cute Ganpati murtis. You don't have any idea. You seriously have no idea. You seriously have no idea of the power and the rage that resides over there. Like, you're just being stupid if you think he's a cute devta. He's not. I mean, of course he is, but that's not what his nature is. That's not what his swabhava. As you grow a little bit into it, you begin to realize. Yeah. So I think the Kshetram comes later than the Rupam. The Rupam is the important thing. Rupam hai to koi important Kshetram will come on its own. And also it's a matter of internal. There is an intuition that tells you, yes, I'm finally home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And then matters become clear. Yeah.
So,
Huh.
Sri Guru, with your permission, because you mentioned the dharana and the
Yeah.
retreat, I'll just like to, within 30 seconds, mention the importance
Yeah.
as you clearly outlined.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
the dharana retreat, as Sri Guru mentioned, is a fantastic base for the japa that we do. Um,
Yeah.
I agree, Sri Guru. We are not good at meditation. I am not
Yeah.
personally. And the japa makes it easy because the mind has something to focus on. And based on that, we recently had the Shakti retreat that was led by Ramana, and I'm assuming permission from his end, and I'll be responsible for the comments. But it was a fantastic base. It built on the Dharana as a foundation, and we were blessed to be in Sanatan Siddhashram at Birbhum, where Ma
Ah,
is
the
so
place also helps,
present.
no? Yeah.
So yes, Sri Guru, thank you for bringing that out. And
Yeah.
a great segue to, you already touched on the importance of Ugra Devata, but the next
Yeah.
question I have for you is based on your decade-old video
Yeah. Tell
about
me.
Durga
Tell me.
Upasana.
Okay.
Back then, you had mentioned that Durga Ma is beyond this universe. In the video where you had mentioned about the iconography, as well as how the role played by Lord Rama to bring her into this plane. And you said it's very difficult to handle her, so be very, very careful before you get in. But in
Correct.
the dharana we met, you mentioned that
Yeah.
take up Bhairava Upasana and Durga Upasana, and among other Ugra Devatas. So what changed?
Uh, it is still true that Durga is a sort of Durga itself means difficult and hard to attain. You know, she's a somewhat alien because Durga was created by all the devas combining the energy. That is the core Sthala Purana. And then she's a very wild, independent goddess, and because that embarrasses India, then we kind of made up stories later, or organically it evolved that Durga is actually a form of Parvati, and therefore she's married to Shiva, which is not entirely true, or not entirely how the story originally began. But if you look at the original story, all the devtas pull the energy, comprise, and so she is a created form. So that is why she has that little alienness in her. The why I That time I was speaking to a specific group of people who, if they had done Durga sadhana, would have been flattened like a chapati under a steamroller. Like, they were not people who had any kind of capacity to do her upasana and deal with the consequences, because see, Ugra Deva has certain behaviors which may not be possible. They will remove all karmic impediments, they will remove relationships, things like that to you. So, in context, yes. But today we are in such a troubled state as a society, as a people. Hindus are in such troubled state, and Durga gives victory. You see, we cannot overcome without Durga, blessings of Durga. Shivaji Maharaj could never be beaten comprehensively, because Durga was always with him. He was the core sadhaka of Durga. So Ramachandra recently made a thing that since Bhairava is the Kshetrapala, his Upasana needs to be popular to protect India and Indians, Hindus. Durga to bring victory and so that the rulers unka sabuddhi bhi jage, and certain forms of Vishnu, because Vishnu is what sustains and preserves. So all these forms have, all these things have to simultaneously go. But Durga essentially, even it's not just my opinion, by the way, even Sri Aurobindo said that worshipping Kali and Durga you need to be very careful, and he was a complete Devi Bhakt himself. And so he recommended that if you're starting Devi Upasana, you start with Sri Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, because it is the easiest. क्या है महासरस्वती का problem that she won't tolerate even one little speck of impurity in you. So you will keep doing mala japa for thousands of years and she'll say not good enough, not good enough. So that time in context, because people look at, they don't realize that even though the video is general purpose, I'm speaking to a particular group of people, and that particular group of people were simply not capable of handling Durga. Durga, it is not for nothing that Durga has always been the Devi of Kshatriyas, because that kind of quality will come to you, that kind of aggro will come to you. And but then I realized that पानी नाक तक आ गया है. We cannot afford these fine nuances. उग्र देवता का प्रॉब्लम है तो उग्र देवता का प्रॉब्लम को अकोमोडेट करके आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा. The benefits are too high. Previously I was trying to teach people to make them progress spiritually with least discomfort. And then I realized that discomfort is a very vital part of the like discomfort is a vital part of the process. One should not save people from discomfort. So Durga, Kali, Bhairava, Muruga, Varaha Murti, Mahavidyas, whatever, Pratyangira, Sarveshwara, like all the Varaha Murti, Narsimha Murti, Hanuman, I want these devtas to become more prominent. Of course, Sri Rama also, because of that unfortunate TV serial where he was portrayed like a dalda ka dabba, like it was, he was Naravyagra, the human tiger. I've never seen a portrayal of Sri Rama where that tigerish aspect of Sri Rama is shown. Yeah, Purusha Vyagram, iti Raghava. The tiger in human form, that is Raghava. Where do you see that portrayal? You always see this person with this beatific smile, and Hanuman does all the heavy bashing up of the villains, and that's not true. Sri Rama was the human tiger. Sri Krishna was like, again, we think of Sri Krishna, flute, gopis, all that. And we don't realize what kind of power he was. So the Ugra nature of Sri Rama, the Ugra nature of Sri Krishna, Shiva, again, we think of him as Bholenath and, sitting and meditating and being nice. And the Ugra natures we don't follow. So the Ugra nature of Devtas is what we need now for about 100, 200 years. We need we need people to respect Hindus. We need people to be wary of Hindus. At the moment, Hindus are, yes, it is changing now. People are realizing, oh, times are different. Hindus are being assertive. A lot of complaints about the assertive Hindu. And I'm like, what's your problem if we are assertive and we are asking for our rights? What is your problem? That is the problem. Hindu should not have any rights. Hindu should be in permanent Maunavrata with Anjali Mudra, That is the perfect Hindu. And I'm like, no, those days are over. अब हम जिद पे आ गए. We are going to be assertive. We are going to be aggressive. We are going to say this is our right and don't get in the way. So the the thing about Durga Upasana is also, it's not easy. You require real warrior's heart to do it correctly. And our people, unfortunately, are not warriors at the moment. I mean, there are a few still, but in general, we have that Shatra. We have lost that spirit of Shatra, valor. And Durga has no time for fatus, you know. Durga has no time for mild, namby-pamby types. She wants Veeras. So that is why. But now I am saying, ठीक है, 10 आदमी करेगा, one only will succeed. Even that one will become like a beacon to 100, 1,000. Just the fact that you are a certain way, you see, it's not even what you say, it's because of who you are that what you say counts. People see your authenticity, they see that you have a certain spiritual caliber in you, and therefore they listen to you. So Ugra Devtas will create that personality, will create that personality of assertiveness, dominance, वो Shatra wala quality develop hoga. We have had too much of just pure intellect, not enough of the physique, not enough of the assertiveness, not enough of the domination qualities. We need more of those qualities. And Durga will give all that in spades. She will give all that in spades. So इतना डरने का भी क्या है? After all, she is a devta. She wants you to succeed also. So what is there to be that afraid? Do it. Even if you fail, what does it matter? She will find you again in your next life and set you on the right path, get you the right teachers, get you the right procedures, get you the right text, and then you can try again. How many people have failed multiple times? What does it matter? So Mahakali ka bhi same. Mahakali to, it is like even worse than Durga, because. But again, problem kya hai? Karo. I mean, don't do absurd things like that fellow who was giving his own blood to Kali and shit like that. And then she just destroyed all his life because she was like, okay, you want moksha that badly? Okay, I'll remove every impediment in your life to moksha. Don't do absurd things like that. So Durga is a white goddess. You see, there are primary kinds of, the white goddess is power and purity and overwhelming, and then red goddesses are very rajasic. And so दुर्गा में वो राजसिक क्वालिटी भी है और वो प्योरिटी वाला क्वालिटी भी है, सात्विक क्वालिटी भी है. So it's a good combination. And also Durga develops that royal quality in people. Durga develops that that thing of, like, yeah. Who is that? With Kali it becomes uncontrollable. With Kali it becomes like completely uncontrollable. So we need more. We need more of these. And then I hear people wanting to revive Indra Sadhana and all that. I'm like, it's been defunct for 2000 years. If you're a great avatar type of person, you can revive the worship. But otherwise, it's not worth it. Otherwise, it's not worth it. The devtas that are already alive and working, strengthen them, strengthen their paths. Find the tradition, find the text, do the old pujas, do the old. I will tell you the real reason that all this changed because of my thinking. And then I went to Chidambaram, and in the Durga Sannidhi, I did a Chandi Homa. 6 hours. And then the kind of way that the Devi in the Sannidhi came alive and the way she was blasting heat at me, and I said, like, I'm a fool. I never recognized when I was having your darshan. I would just hurriedly do this and then run to the main this one, no, Shivagama Sundari shrine. And now I'm like, no, I'm not going. So when you see a devta come alive, when you see the sheer overwhelming power of a devta, and you're like, and some one more touching and interesting thing that happened was I went the previous day to just do darshan because 6 hours by the time I finished the temple was closed. I couldn't do darshan at the Sannidhis. And everybody, when they heard I was doing the Chandi Homam, they were beaming at me. And because it was a big thing for them also. And then the next day, I think every Dikshitar lady was present in the temple because Chandi Homam. So then I realized that these procedures are set up to benefit the entire community, to benefit all dharmic people, to benefit, and of course it rained immediately after, which was just the icing on the cake. Everybody was so happy. So then I said कि ये दुर्गा से दूर रह के I have not done a good thing. That year I did Navami ko I did Shastra Puja for the first time in my life, and I was like, why did I not do this before? And I am Nair,
Hmm.
and Churiga, I, I of course have teased all my Nair older generation. Where is your Churiga? All you people sold it in the kabaddi. And today it's not a joke. Today I regard that as a catastrophe. That how quickly we just abandoned our Churiga and we abandoned our tradition as warriors. So yeah, so that is why I changed my I didn't change per se, but where I was hesitant at that time, now I'm not hesitant. Now I'm fully like gung ho about it. Jai Ma Durga, go at it. Jai Bhavani,
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Shivaji.
Jai Shiva.
Also Shivaji Maharaj, na, he's my big hero. So Shivaji Maharaj ka devta tha na Durga. So me too. Think of the quality of the man that after you take the name of the devta, you take the name of the man. Think of the quality. Jai Bhavani bolo, so everybody says Jai Shivaji.
Jai Shivaji.
Yeah, think of the quality of the man. Think of her blessings on him. So why are we losing that? Why are we not gaining that? Yeah.
So Sri
Okay.
Guru, we have
Huh?
overshot a bit. With your permission, we can just extend little more, if
Yeah,
it's
I
okay.
don't have any problem. I don't. We shouldn't go over 2 hours. That is all, because then people space out.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no
So Sri
problem.
Guru, this is again a video that
Oh,
you had posted long ago.
oh, money is under the control of the Asuric forces. That is something that Sri Aurobindo had said.
Yes.
He said that one of the problems is that the money power is under the control of the Asuric forces, which is why dharmic people struggle. So he did a lot to liberate. He did a lot to liberate the money from the control of the Asuric forces. What can we do to take back control? First of all, there is certain problem that we have as Hindus, and that is we have this terrible hypocrisy about two purusharthas. One is artha, one is kama. Yeah, we are money is desperately important in the consciousness of our people, and we pretend like it doesn't matter. Yeah, we want to give this holier than thou self-righteous mindset. Money is a form of energy. Money is a form of tangible value that you can use for dharmic causes. Why should you not have money? Where did this notion come that bhuka nanga fatehal kangal is the only way to be spiritual? Have you read the description of Abhinava Gupta, who was one of the greatest masters ever born? He is wearing silk and pearls and diamonds and sitting on gold, and so according to our notions of today, he is not a genuine yogi. So I very deliberately go against that Bhukananga Fatehal Kangal mindset. Like Money is good, money is a purushartha. Therefore, within reason, everybody should strive to make money. Because, people say, as a guru, why do you speak about money? I'm like, should I leave it only to the corrupt people to speak about money? Dharmic people won't speak about money, then only the corrupt people will speak about money. As a guru, why do you speak on sexuality and interpersonal relationship? Should I leave it only to the perverts to speak about sexuality? Karma is the bigger problem we have. We all seem to be born spontaneously, like parthenogenesis hota hai. Our parents never had sex. Just that statement is going to upset people. You Oh, and these two hypocrisies we have to get rid of. These two hypocrisies about artha and kama we have to get rid of. And because we have the hypocrisy, that is where the asuric forces have got control of them. Let us be very clear, even sexuality is under the control of the asuric forces. So what can we do about it? Consciousness has to be sharp. Buddhi ka vikas, vivek ka vikas. When you see a rich person who is using his money in cause of dharma, that is a better example than 2000 lectures. When you see a successful person who's also got hardcore sadhana upasana, that is a better example than 10,000 lectures. So I encourage everybody to make money. Don't run away from that. Don't don't whitewash your failures to make money as I am spiritual. No, you're a failure. And I was also brainwashed with, I was also injected with all this nonsense. It took me a long time to unlearn. It took me a long time to unlearn. So, what can we do to take back control? First of all, I don't know if I should say this. Screw it, I'm going to say it. Have you seen the donations that people give in the temple thali when the pujari comes out and yeah, and I see people in silk saris dripping with diamonds and they put 5 rupees and 10 rupees. And when I put in 100, 200, 500, it causes consternation in the Sannidhi. Like, what is your attitude in front of God? You're showing this, and it's very evident that you're not lacking anything. When the Sarveshwara Homam is being done, while the Abhishekam is being done of the Murti, multiple Abhishekams is being done, one Pujari stands there and he does full Sahasranama. So at the end, I gave him 400 rupees because he was really old. He acted like he had won a lottery. And I was so like shocked and ashamed, that 400 rupiah has such an outsized impact. So we have this very strangled relationship with money. And we don't understand that money is a flow. Money must flow out and then it comes in. There are certain times when money will go if you don't stop spending at that time. A lot of money will go. There are certain times when money will come. Money is also a magnetism. You need to be a money magnet. Everybody has a certain thermostat, which is the level of money. These are different things. We can talk about them some other time. The question is, what can we do to take control? First thing is your sadhana must be absolutely clear. And in your sadhana, there must be no space for lack of money. Every sahasranama, every stotra, the end of it says phalam. And in the phalam is inevitably money and abundance. Yes? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
And so, what is wrong, therefore, in asking for abundance, financial security? What is this whole thing of that if you're doing well, you cannot be spiritual? Where did this poisonous, disgusting idea come into Hindu? So, the first thing is rip this idea out of your mind that if you're well off, you cannot be spiritual. Yes, if you're super rich, probably you cannot be spiritual. because of all the things you need to do to. But I mean super rich. Even rich, you can be quite spiritual and be rich. So you need to get rid of these wrong notions first. Why is the Asuric forces controlling these two important Purusharthas? Because there is not enough spiritual energy to oppose them. We do not have enough spiritually powerful people. We do not have enough people with Shakti. Again, why do we have no. When is the last time a beautiful new Hindu temple was built? Can you tell me? And don't tell me what is happening in Ayodhya. That is like a, Zila Parishad Jansampark Karyala. That is not my notion of a beautiful temple. Yes, it is good that the temple is coming up. It is a wonderful victory for Hindu society. That is not a great temple. We were a people who could make great temples. And you go to a town like Kumbakonam or you go to Kanchipuram, and there are 3,000 temples in Kanchipuram, and all of them were being supported. Imagine the resource abundance. And what happened? Where did this poverty stricken idea come in? So, this poverty consciousness is the curse of India. We think like poor people, even though we are a rich country. And there are very few people who have the right idea of money. And so, first we need our ideas correct. Then we need then we need our Shakti to be greater. Let us get these two things correct. Then we can think of fighting asuras. अभी उतना तुम्हारी औकात नहीं है, किसी की भी औकात नहीं है कि जाके लड़ेंगे to with the asuras who are holding the, like bit by bit, you chip it away bit by bit. Each individual who gains some financial independence becomes rich and is a dharmic person. That much the asuric grip weakens. Bit by bit, we chip it. Everybody waits for one great person to come and lead the battle. No, all of us have to do the battle. And the first thing is get to be rich or to be financially well off is not a bad thing. Arey wah, Ramchandra says perfect assessment of Ma Durga. Thank you. Since he's a big Devi Bhakt, that is a very great thing for me to hear. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, Srigar, this is another brilliant
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Your videos of 10 years, 11 years ago, so me and a couple of us bandhus were discussing. It's very surprising it didn't blow up because of the depth with which you go. And then now it's blowing up because there are a lot of takers who are good at packaging and showcasing your content. What do you have to?
Well, they steal my content. They whatever I said in English, they are saying in Hindi. Cyber Zeal, though he should change his name to Cyber Steel. You know. Then there is poor Sri Kumar. There's one lady who calls herself some Mata something. She takes all his content in English and translates into Telugu. So this is a very sad thing among so-called dharmic people. It's a very, very, very sad thing. People stealing other people's content and passing it off their own and thinking we are spreading awareness. Yeah, how will giving credit to the original person stop the awareness from being spread? They never explain. Yeah. So they are people who have essentially the soul of a thief. They in last lifetime they were a thief. Next lifetime also they'll be a thief. This lifetime because of some good karma they. So it doesn't matter. I don't care about fools. Like what can he do? He can only imitate and steal. Originality तो उससे होता नहीं है ना. If you look at him, it is doubtful if in any life he ever had an original thought. Forget this life. So like as to why my content has not blown up, I go very deep and it is very niche and specialized, and I speak from an integral yoga perspective, which most people still do not understand. So, unless you're really, really interested, So even if my content has not blown up, I will say one thing: my content goes very deep into people.
Yes.
My content goes very deep into people. So in the long term, I think what I have done will endure. In the long term, what I think I have done will endure because I have genuine deep impact on people. So I might not be known to millions, but the hundreds or the thousands who know me, it penetrates very deep into their consciousness, because I have heard people say that again and again. Again, we got one ting, you know. So
Shubham.
yeah, Shubha. So so these things are also a matter of luck and destiny, and maybe I don't have a destiny to be world famous all over India or whatever, Like maybe this is all that is needed. And I'm restarting my channel. Let us see. But I'm quite happy. I really don't want to be so famous that I can't go out in public. I'm quite happy with that. And I also really don't know. I also really don't know why it didn't blow up. But people nowadays, they find me on Facebook or whatever, then they go and find me on YouTube, and then the cycle goes up like that. You can never say why. Also, I don't speak superficially, so there is most content that blows up is superficial content. So since I never speak superficially, it and also niche hai na. It's spirituality in English, Hindu spirituality in English. That is a very narrow lane. That is a very narrow lane. If it was in Hindi or even in Malayalam or Bengali or something, there was a big. This is this is a very narrow lane. So the chances of it blowing up are just by the nature of the arena. The arena is limited. So it really doesn't bother me. Other people are more bothered than I am bothered. It really doesn't bother me. Those who want to access can access. Yeah. हाँ, फालतू चीजों के लिए मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, फालतू क्वेश्चंस के लिए मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है. One person stole your content, posted on IG. I told him give Sri Guru credit. He blocked. Yes, that's normal. That's normal. So so leave these people. These people are just losers. These people are just losers. They are people without any integrity, and they are people who are claiming to be yogis and things like that. And basic level of honesty, if you don't have, what can I do? And if people want to follow those chores, then please, losers ki barat mein shamil ho jao. Here I am, like, go away from me. Let only genuine people come. Let only genuine people come to me. It's like, I mean, it irritates me, of course, that people steal from me. It would irritate anybody. But that is the nature, and especially our people, we have developed this escape route for ourselves, that so long as you're spreading awareness, it doesn't matter. This is the standard argument I hear. And whenever I ask them, how does my name being cut out increase the spread of awareness, they have nothing to say. So leave losers. Why speak about losers? One should not speak about losers and people who are going to be reborn as cockroaches, probably. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. Yes, I understand that those who like me, respect me, they feel offended on my behalf. But भैया अपने चैनल को बढ़ाओ, recommend my channel to people, tell other people to subscribe. Let us do positive things यार. इन सब बेवकूफों के बारे में सोचते रहोगे तो life is short यार. Life is short. I'm almost 60. Another 30 years if Nataraja Kripa is there. I don't have time to waste on these complete failures of evolution. Okay.
Shri Guru, so as we are towards the last 6 minutes,
Yeah.
you had shared a couple of images with me. Is it a good time to show that now when we go to the daily schedule that we were talking about?
Yeah. Right. Okay. What does one do on a daily? All right.
So,
This one was okay. This point I had made in that other media, so leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
okay.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
may be a
This
good
was. This is.
starting point.
This is what Kostav had done. Yeah. A call for all Hindus. So this is something he had posted in 2022, and he had said that do this. So it was just a little note he wrote that what can you do to be a better Hindu in the new year. Yeah. So could you please read it out, Anirudh, quickly?
A call for all Hindus this coming
Huh.
Gregorian year. Gear up for doing upasana.
Yeah.
Make resolutions for dharma. Don't even take a sankalpa. Make a
Yeah.
promise to yourself that you'll be a better Hindu. Read that Bhagavad Gita. Take out that Puran from your bookshelf. Do the pilgrimage you have been wanting to. Learn that stotra that you have always wanted to. Take up the Anushtan you never thought you would finish. Visit all the temples in your city. Do a Pindadana for all your ancestors. Learn
Yes. Very
Panchopachara
important.
Puja.
Pindadan for ancestors. Yeah. Yeah.
Learn Panchopachara Puja. Do it at least once a month. Learn basic Ganesha and Lakshmi Puja. Enter the temple of your Ishta and say, I am yours and you are mine this moment onwards. Plant a tulsi in your home. Plant a people tree in your random area. Learn to do a havan for your Ishta or a small Shanti havan. Stop finding fault in other religions and adoring other religions. Focus on your own religion. Promise yourself that you will be an example for all Hindus and be someone that your ancestors will be proud of at any cost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. You can remove that now. See, be the example. People keep saying that Hindus should do more. Hindus ka ye hai. I'm like, admirable Hindus kitne hain? You need to see Hindus that are worthy of emulation. No, dharmic Hindus, practicing Hindus, people who are unapologetic about being Hindus, assertive about being Hindus, cool Hindus. Like I said, we have an attractiveness problem big time. Our people are not very well. I don't want to specify the notions of whatever is the problem, but yeah, they are not. We put our worst foot forward. Let me say that. Looks wise, attractiveness wise, dress wise, appearance wise, everything we put our worst foot forward. That Fatehal Kangal mindset is too big. So we have an attractiveness problem. But what is stopping you? I have constantly heard our gurus let us down. I agree with that criticism. I myself have been very savage, though now I have toned it down in public because this is not a time to criticize our gurus. This is a time to stand firmly behind our gurus. You don't like what the guru is doing, leave it. But don't go attacking somebody. We cannot afford that. But what is your individual responsibility? How are you an admirable Hindu that others can emulate or imitate? तुझ में क्या है? अरे तुम एक तिलक लगा के घर से नहीं निकलोगे. Where are you becoming the example that people can see? Because people follow examples. People, your podcast also, Anirudh, they'll tune in for you. Then they will tune in for your. So if they see some falsity and some hypocrisy in you, then to that extent there will be a problem. They have to see you. They have to see that, okay, this person is authentic. He may not be perfect. He's doing his best. Then they will say, okay, right, I'm following him. Similar with me, I have never hid my flaws. I have never claimed to be anything greater than I am. I have never exhibited any false humility. That is another thing. I'm not going to do that because that is also a lie. But people follow me in large context because of who I am, not just because of what I say. So everybody should try to be somebody like, yes, I am a firm pillar of Hinduism. I stand for Hinduism. These are my values, and you don't like it, तेल बेचने जाओ यार, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. And you know how admirable that is, and you know how shocking it is, how many times I hear, I've said this on so many podcasts, but I am forced to repeat it because I hear it all the time. We wish more Hindu gurus were like you, so unapologetic, so assertive, so proud of being a Hindu, so firm in his convictions. We wish more Hindu gurus were like you. कितना shameful एक बात है. And I'm saying, forget about Hindu gurus. Where about Hindus? Why are Hindus not proud of being Hindus? We actually had to create a slogan in the 90s. गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू हैं. क्या बात है ये? And then that Shabana Azmi, she tried to create a counter slogan. प्रेम से कहो हम इंसान हैं. This level of low IQ horseshit. तुमको क्या problem है that I am proud to be a Hindu यार? You jihadi? With your cross-dresser husband who wears your wardrobe? This is the level. This is the level. Characterological evil, remember. We cannot even say we are proud to be Hindu. तुमको क्या problem है if I am a proud Hindu? And I am saying गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू हैं. Everybody. गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू हैं. And let's everybody see that you're a Hindu. One of my friends, he won't even accept a disciple unless the person says, I will go out of my home with Hindu markings on me. That is the commitment he requires from you before you go out. I don't do that, but maybe I should, you know. And आज मैं जानबूझ के मैं शिवाजी महाराज को पहन के आया. You know, because here's a person who had no problem with being a proud Hindu. You know, this is our ideal. This is our Hindu Hriday Samrat, you know, one and only.
One and only.
Okay, Sri Rama, but you know, recent times, one and only. Yeah, I think that's enough. We've gone over 2 hours.
So Shri Guru, just so something, one would be of course sport a tilak when you step out. Be proud of it. Any other actionable steps that we can take? Baby steps.
Support Hindu causes. Everything is talk until you put your hand into your pocket and draw money out. Support Hindu causes. When I restart my podcast, donate to me so that I can. I cannot live by eating grass and drinking water. Yeah. I'm not even asking for large donations. Donate generously to your local temple. Donate generously to the pujaris who run that. Donate to the Veda Patashalas. Find a cause. It doesn't have to be a large thing and you don't have to beggar yourself. But I'm saying if you don't watch one pathetic Bollywood movie and you give that money to a Hindu cause, will that hurt you? Educate yourself. Get your sacred books. There are so many, who wears your clothes?
You had made that comment.
Okay. There are so many channels on YouTube. There are so many books. All the knowledge is available. Learn Sanskrit if you can. That is a big thing. Learn 40 million manuscripts are lying untranslated. The largest knowledge production in history, and we just don't care about it. Support authors who are writing things about our culture, our dharma. Nitin Sridhar is an expert on the Shastras. Buy his books. Support his work. Support Pankaj Saxena, who takes people on tours of temples, and he has an organized. Support him. Support me. Support Raishi. Support good causes. I'm not even saying support all of us. Choose any one also and support, but support something that is authentic. Support something that is authentic. And please educate yourself. Please make the effort to learn more about your culture. Please make the effort to learn more about your. See, somebody is saying, whatever I hear about Hanuman is only Ram Bhakt. but I don't find anything related to Hanuman specifically. Now that's a big problem. One of the most powerful devtas in Hinduism, and all we think of him is like Ram Sevak, That is a big problem. So please make the effort. Please make the effort, and then bring up your children with good values. When they are 20, it is too late. You need to get them to be chanting Sahasranamas when they are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You need to take them to temples. You need to make them proud of being a Hindu. You need to explain these matters to them. And again, you need to educate yourself in all these things. Otherwise, your kids will be dressing up in Halloween and nonsense like that. एक deracinations बहुत difficult होता है. It is better not to be deracinated than come back to the Hindu fold. And so there are so many. Vivek Debroy has done word to word translation, Ramayana, Mahabharata, most of the Puranas. Buy those sets up, read those stories. You know what an achievement that is? What kind of an achievement that is? What kind of fantastic achievement that is? Read those stories, learn the epics, learn what is actually going on. So, and most of all, please, we can't have the luxury of sectarian fights. तू वैष्णव है तो God bless you, तू Shakta है तो God bless you. Please don't start abusing each other's religions and each other's practices. Every religion, every sect, every sampradaya is to be judged on its own parameters, not on your parameters. जो बलि करता है उनको करने दो, जो मांस खाता है उनको खाने दो. तुमसे कोई नहीं बोल रहा है कि बलि करो और मांस खाओ. So both would be good for you, but nobody is telling you that you have to do that. Whatever other practices, and this whole notion that we have of, I still remember, like Shabrimala issue, the kind of deracination behind the arguments. Our Supreme Court judges can't distinguish between Naistika Brahmachari and Nastika
Mm.
Brahmachari. And these people are going to sit in judgment over something so important. That is a level of deracination, and we are also happy with it. So I am asking for more personal responsibility. Yeah. I am asking for more self-respect, more pride, and above all, Shakti Badao. That is my formula for everything is Shakti Badao. No matter what happens, I'm like, increase your Shakti and become undeniable. That is my other thing. That you just become completely undeniable so that people have no option but to listen to you. Rashri ko dekho abhi kya ho gaya hai. See the way that whole thing blew up because he's become undeniable. So become undeniable, and that requires work. That requires sacrifice. Please don't think that you can watch every rubbish TV serial or whatever is on YouTube and, like, nahi hoga. You need to invest in yourself and then your next generation, which is the more important thing, before
Mm.
these rascal teachers get hold of them, and do TikTok videos or YouTube videos, whatever, of the boy pulling his teacher's sari. I mean, I still can't get over a thing like that. संस्कार कहाँ है? So I am saying everybody is not going to be enlightened. Everybody is not going to be articulate. But do the best you can, please. Yeah. What do you know about your religion? Again, that question that I asked, I am sure if I pinpoint everybody in the chat individually, Ramchandra के अलावा किसी को भी genuine answer नहीं होगा. Why is it better to be a Hindu than any other religion? And that's a terrible place to be in. So the day you can answer that question without will be the day my work is done. Was Swami Chinmayananda, when I was a young boy, he had said he had gone to the US and they had asked him, Swamiji, are you here to convert Americans to Hinduism. And he said, no, I'll very happy if I could convert Hindus to Hinduism. So that's my job. I'm converting Hindus to Hinduism. I didn't realize that he had given me that adesh, like it dawned on me only later so that's my job. I think I'm doing a reasonably good job of it. but yeah, that should be your job also. First convert yourself. Yeah, I think that's enough.
Thank you so much, Sri Guru, for this inaugural episode and
Okay.
for the guidance still here. I request everyone to please subscribe to Sri Guru's channel and watch it after some sadhana because it throws a lot of light.
Yeah, I
And
might
please do
start
share
up a
this.
new channel altogether. I'm not sure about it because that channel is pretty old now. I might start up a new channel. So if I do, I'll let everybody know. Otherwise, I'll revive that old channel. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm coming back, but be assured of that. This time it's clear I'm coming back. There'll be more videos. This time I'll be on multiple platforms. Instagram, Twitter, all I'll come back on. So ऐसा नहीं है कि I'll just stick to Facebook. Facebook, I was just there for entertainment more than anything else. It just blew up. It just blew up. I didn't realize it would blow up like that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Is
Sri
that
Guru. I'm
it?
really
We've
grateful.
done. Yeah. No, no.
Yes.
I had great time. I hope audience also had great
I
time.
hope I was able to do some justice to
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. No.
this.
It's fine. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming for this inaugural talk, asking us questions, staying for the full length of the. So we are very happy for that. Please take everything I say seriously. Yeah. Sometimes I tend to be frivolous in my talk, but I'm always serious in my attitudes. Yeah. So okay. Thank you all. Goodbye now. Namaskaram. Sarvam Shivamayam.
Sarvam Shivam. Jai Ma, Jai Bharava.